What is going on, everybody? It's Sean O'Connell, the managing director here at CinemaBlend, and we are burning through season 3 of Westworld, trying to put together all the pieces to the various mysteries that are being introduced to us as this season rolls along. We are out of Westworld, the Westworld that we've grown to know and love, and I know that some people are having an issue with that. I, for one, kind of like the change of pace. I think it's cool that the show is able to branch in different directions, and I'm willing to see where it's going, because it's bringing up its own sort of mysteries in terms of who is the host in Charlotte's body, and what is Dolores' ultimate game, how will Caleb factor in, and what exactly is going on with Sirach and Insight. So, I mean, a lot still to dive into, and people in the comments section for last week's episode were talking about how they don't really trust that Sirach is a person per se, that he might be some type of virtual AI or a host himself. And listen, with the way that this show goes, I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. So hopefully we'll learn a little bit more this episode about who everybody is, what they are working towards, and where the whole show is going. So I'm going to press play on episode 4 of season 3 of Westworld. You are going to hit subscribe and turn on your notifications if you haven't yet already, because that's the best way for you to keep up to date with every single video that we're posting here on Westworld. Of course, I'm going to react to every episode of season 3, but we're also doing some fun things with superhero movies, and we got a whole Tiger King thing going on here on the YouTube page. So make sure you scan through all of our videos and take a look at the content that we are producing while we're all trapped in isolation. So I'm going to keep going on the Westworld train. Without further ado, we're diving into episode number 4, called The Mother of Exiles.
I know what's real.
Hey, is that my boy? Welcome back, Ed Harris.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me again?
What
It wasn't my fault. I thought you weren't real.
What is this head trip? Where is he?
William?
I see you're making the most of your sabbatical.
You're not real either.
Real enough to not want a gun pointed at my face. In less than 20 hours, a predatory investor named Ogneron Sirach will net a controlling interest of Delos Incorporated. The wolf is at the door.
Fuck it. He's welcome to it.
Maybe it would change your mind to know why he's trying to get his hands on Delos. The data from the project in Sector 16.
What is in Sector
You came
16?
to me with your claws out. You can't take Delos private on my votes alone. You need at least half the rest of the board.
Which is why I need your support at tonight's emergency shareholder meeting.
Okay, if this is an Ed Harris episode, I'm in. There are so many reasons why people watch this show. I watch it to see legends elevate already good material. Hey. My boy.
We have limited resources. We need to use them where they matter most.
I hope you're talking about my shoulder, too. Because what little mobility I had, I lost after the little leisurely 5-mile swim we had to shore.
We don't have the materials or the time.
Kill and replace, huh? You sure that little button of yours is gonna work? Fuck you, Bernard.
I think I know where he'll be.
Is everyone going to the shareholders meeting? Be good to get Caleb dressed up for it.
It's proxy for the offshore accounts.
You need my house key? Why?
You lost several men, just your latest crush. Keeping that quiet costs considerable money.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Michael? Are you still working at Anderson Private Equity?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Jeez, it knocks him out. I don't think slamming someone against the back of something would knock him out.
You need the encryption key in his blood to pull this off. Now it started degrading once we exposed it to oxygen. You have 20 minutes left.
Where are they going? I need to know where those two are going. I know people are upset that this season is out of Westworld, but the world that it's created is pretty amazing to watch. The futuristic
Bring yourself
society
back
is
online.
really impressive.
This is Singapore.
If you'd really wanted to impress me, you could have thought to bring me to Paris.
I would have loved to show it to you.
Is it gone?
There's nothing left to see.
Good Lord, what happened there?
Humanity's biggest threat has always been itself. So I created the most comprehensive picture of human behavior ever seen. Imagine my surprise when I discovered that someone had put together a more complete portrait. Created in a theme park of all places. And Dolores has the key to all of that data.
So you want me to find Dolores? But what's in it for me?
The same world you sent your daughter to. There is a key. Your friend Dolores has the only copy.
Oh great, Maeve has to get her daughter again.
I'd like to show you something.
That's a little repetitive. We went down an entire season of Maeve pursuing her daughter.
This is where she remade herself.
Not just herself.
I looked to see if there were names. I did not see them. Who are we going to see here?
This man is an identity broker. He had something of a windfall 3 months ago. A payment from the offshore account of a wealthy man who drowned in his own swimming pool.
Oh yeah.
我带他去病伤人，我只知道这些。
Mortician? Okay, so Maeve has a mission. Everyone's missions are becoming more clear as this episode goes on. Are being established.
Blood marker should be good for another 15 minutes or so, but try to stay calm. The faster your heart beats, the faster the marker degrades.
What happens if it degrades too fast?
I kill everyone.
Matrix style.
I need to make a transfer on behalf of my client, Liam Dempsey.
May I have your client's hash key? It will just take a few moments for the transaction to go through.
Make it snappy.
Though, given the size of the transaction, we must do one final authentication before releasing them. Apologies. We couldn't get a proper read. Sometimes perspiration can affect it.
Chill, dude, chill.
Thank you, Mr. Tritter.
Be able to access and manipulate technology?
I'm looking for someone called the Mortician.
Come on, 滚开！
不知道他在哪儿，就给电话号码。
给我打。
I respect a woman who runs her own establishment. All I want is information on someone to whom you sold a new identity.
She asked me to smuggle out bodies, but that's not my business. So he sent her to the Yakuza.
I go on record as saying I predicted this would be a William episode. We're not getting a lot of William. But we're getting a lot of content, don't get me wrong. Rich people are so strange.
Interesting.
This essentially is what Westworld
You do have a
is,
type.
but in the real world. It's what Westworld was for everybody.
I thought your world would be so different from mine.
It's not!
There isn't any difference at all.
No, there isn't. You're right, Dolores. I just said that, Dolores.
Liam Dempsey,
Let go of me.
interdiagnostic mode. She hasn't changed him yet.
We tried you right now, we try mine.
Get out of here, hold her off.
Dolores, you missed? Point blank range?
Stay on Liam. I'll handle him.
Sure.
Take it, I won't need it.
Oh, that's an insult to you, Hemsworth. Post on post action! Come on, Hemsworth! Do something! Finally, Hemsworth! Get in the game! You're gonna lose this fight eventually. Dolores is not gonna stay on here, but make it respectable.
This isn't the kind of place you simply stroll into. Let's see.
Okay, so she's got cool abilities out in the real world. But I don't... Is he really William? Is he a host of William? They said in this episode she created a host of William.
You're not real.
I guess I'm not anymore.
I'm gonna walk out that door, and I am choosing to leave you behind me.
Now what is that?
Hello, Maeve.
Wow. Oh. Now how is he out in the world?
Don't! He's coming with me.
So he works for Dolores, so...
Fucking run!
Better go after him.
She brought you out here.
Yes.
Dolores stole 5 pearls. Who did she put inside you?
I thought she would have replaced Liam, but she's keeping him in play, so she changed you instead. Who are you?
These are the questions we all need to know.
Let's go.
Do you think you convinced her? Your daughter. I've been listening to your conversations with her.
You've been spying on me?
As a precaution. I didn't really need to, of course. Because I know you.
Who the fuck are you?
Huh.
Your oldest friend.
Dolores.
You don't recognize your only friend?
You've just made copies of yourself.
If you want something done right, do it yourself.
They're all Dolores?
I want to tear you apart piece by piece. This isn't Charlotte Hale. It's an imposter, a host.
Oh gosh, imagine that. Imagine being sane and trying to explain this.
You work for me!
William, I told you. They work at a private mental health hospital.
Huh.
Now that you're being committed, I have to inform you that the board will deem you incompetent, and all of your voting shares will transfer to the current acting president. Me.
Oh, that is one of my greatest fears that you see play out in movies and TV shows every once in a while, where somebody who is sane and you're trying to explain it to mental health facility people and they don't believe you because you sound crazy.
I'll pay whatever you want.
I have all your money.
Hello, liver.
Okay, Dolores, now what?
これ以上守りきれません。早く逃げてください。
What a beautiful and very elaborate image. I find it very hard to believe that this is Maeve and William out of the game.
I guess you've reached the center of your maze, William.
Hmm.
Ask me the question, William.
What question? Am I real?
Me.
Am I me?
Welcome to the end of the game.
God, I could see how this could be closure for William, but don't take him out of the game. Okay, so the Mother of Exiles. So now I had said I was all in on this being a William episode. I was super ready to catch back up with the Man in Black and find out where he's been this whole time. You get introduced to him very early on, and his mind is playing extreme tricks on him. And that's a theme throughout a couple of different points of this episode where the mind, everyone's brain is kind of playing tricks on them. And we question the reality of almost every situation that we're watching. And that's very Westworld. Like, you're always supposed to be sort of questioning, like, the person that I'm watching, are they real? Are they a host? What environment are we in? Sometimes we even ask ourselves when it comes to Westworld, when are we on this timeline? And this season has been pretty straightforward in terms of everything's taking place in the real world. Dolores is on a mission. Everyone else's missions are kind of becoming more clear, and the paths are crisscrossing. So you'll see Caleb and Dolores will crisscross with Bernard and Hemsworth, whose character name I refuse to learn because he's always going to be Hemsworth to me, gets his ass beat by Dolores, which I guess understandably, but you have one job, protect Bernard, right? You have one mission, and while you are kind of like a dated model, I guess, at some point, or you're banged up. I mean, he did swim 5 miles, as he said. Barely hold his own in a fight against Dolores. But anyway, their missions are all somewhat crisscrossing because they're all working towards an ultimate goal. Dolores obviously wants to take the world down, open it up to what it is. And this is where the parallels between what was Westworld for 2 seasons and what is Westworld now is just the concept of living in a world that is a construct, right? And questioning what is real and what isn't. And you begin to see, and Dolores makes this comparison. She says, I always thought that your world was going to be so different than the one that I occupied. And it turns out it's not that different at all. You pay big money to step into an illusion. You pay to be able to live your vices and without consequence, essentially. And that's what people were doing in Westworld. And it was revealing. What it does is it reveals truly who you are as a person when you have no hindrance, no handcuffs, no nothing keeping you back from living out and being who you are. So a lot of stuff at play here. Maeve successfully is able to track Dolores or get closer to the people who are helping her on her mission of putting the people together, and it starts to answer who were these 5 personalities that Dolores was able to take over into the new world with her and work toward her. Now, I am pretty sure I understand that interpretation, that all of them are Dolores. That Dolores, instead of taking other personalities and putting them into those bodies, just put herself. Because as she says to Maeve, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And then when she's speaking to Bernard in the body of the guy with the great Scottish accent, she calls herself Bernard's oldest friend, which I think has to be Dolores, right? Because of their relationship back together. So I'm fairly certain, and I'm going to have to read some analysis on this afterwards, or go down in the comments and tell me whether I'm wrong or not. I think all the people working for her in the bodies that she has taken over are variations of her. Now, that also begs the question of whether the Dolores that we're looking at, the futuristic, streamlined, badass fighter Dolores, might be Wyatt, because I've heard people speculate that the split personality that is Dolores, where part of her was Wyatt, part of her was Dolores, that this could be Wyatt in that body. We might be overthinking that. That might not be true. It could just be different versions of Dolores who's fully committed to the mission of opening up this world and freeing the humans who don't realize that they're underneath the control of Delos, Serac, people who are keeping a veil over reality, and she and Caleb are working towards that. So let's see, where are we at? There was a board meeting that's going to happen. The phrase I wrote down that Charlotte used, which is the wolf is at the door. Now that she's been able to convince people that William is not William, or he's not sane necessarily, she's going to get the voting shares. So I'm assuming she's going to be able to go in and at least block Serac from taking over Delos. We have what seems to suggest by the end of this episode that Maeve and William are out of the game. And let's talk about William just for a little bit. William has always wanted to reach the center of the maze from the first episode. And this could legitimately be closure on that mission. That in the grand scheme of things, his quest to reach the center of this metaphorical maze drove him crazy, right? Like, he was never going to get to an actual answer that he needed. It consumed him fully. He lost his daughter, killed her because he mistook her for a host, is still haunted by her. Was tricked into losing his shares of the company that he spent his entire life building up. And in a very Edgar Allan Poe-esque conclusion, he gets nothing, and he gets an unsatisfying ending, but it's an ending. This could be a place to take William out of the story. And I don't know what the plan is for Ed Harris. Like, it'd be sad to lose an actor of the caliber of Ed Harris, but this feels like it has the potential to be the ending for William. That he sought this center of the maze, he found it, and in getting it, he sacrificed everything, lost everything, and ends up broken, empty, and alone, and crazy, but not crazy, but being told by everybody that he is. Maeve looks dead, but I have to believe that she's not. I have to believe that she's still going to be part of this quest to stop Dolores or help Dolores. It's unclear here in season 3, and I guess it depends on how you're reading the material, who we're rooting for here. Are we rooting for Dolores to succeed? Are we rooting for the Delos board? Are we rooting for Serac? I mean, they're all wrong and right in their different reasons, and so I guess it depends on which side you want to see prevail. So we'll see how the rest of it continues. It was so nice to see Ed Harris back. Loved seeing him and William back on the screen. It was great to see Maeve sort of move that storyline forward. Good reveal if it turns out that all of the bodies that Dolores has taken over to complete her mission in the real world are actually Dolores. And it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with that spoiled brat rich kid. What is the ultimate goal for them to get through? So we should find that out in next episode, I would imagine. But tell me in the comments down below whether you think, what's the state of William? Is that it? Is that William reaching the center of the maze? Is his story done? Because it could be. I really do think the translation of that means that we could have reached the end of his story. I hope that's not the case. I also want to know what the Sector 16 project is. Am I supposed to know what the Sector 16 project is? I'm not quite sure that I know what that is, but if I'm supposed to know it, go in the comments and tell me what the Sector 16 project is. It's probably one of those things that just went right over my head as I was trying to process these episodes in a rapid fashion. I'll see you back here next week. We're going to do episode 5 of season 3 of Westworld. We're working our way all the way through to the season finale, and then we'll see where the story goes from there. hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. We're posting videos like this all the time on CinemaBlend's YouTube page, including, if you haven't seen it yet, I have a whole Game of Thrones reaction series. I have The Mandalorian from Disney Plus, the previous 2 seasons of Westworld, and we'll continue going through season 3 together. So make sure that you keep it right here on CinemaBlend's YouTube page. Hit subscribe and turn on your notifications.